black and white photography can be really, really fun, and snow-covered peaks like these in the Himalayas are excellent subjects to really boost that contrast, make a moody scene, and I think it really elevates the photo to new levels. So here you can see my ending photo. Let me show you the initial photo I began with, and let's walk through how to take this to this. It's really quite easy. So we'll start here. We'll enter into full camera raw, which is basically the same thing as Lightroom. And the easiest thing you can do with one click of a button is desaturate the whole image. That's one step. It's an important step, but it's not the only step. So just turning it to black and white is fine, but there are some things we want to still keep in mind. As I'm looking at this photo, I see some really nice highlights here at the tops of the mountains. And that's actually what I want to accentuate. I want to boost the shadows, boost the darkness all around it and all the other areas, and really bring out these highlights to make it this not quite silhouette, but very amplified version of just the bright spots of the photo. So the first thing I'm going to do actually with a stretched out scene like this is I'm going to crop it to a 16:9. So come over here, change it to 16:9, and I'm just going to bring it in a little bit. Notice how the intersecting points of this rule of thirds grid is right over the biggest peak, the brightest peak, the part that I really want to accentuate. That is great. Now, I would have loved to crop out some of these buildings that are in the bottom. However, we'll get that in a second. So let's just go ahead and crop it. But notice how it's very muted. The colors, the darkness, the lights, they're not as strong as in that ending photo I showed you just a minute ago. So what I want to come over here and do is really boost the whites. That's going to help, bring out those really bright mountaintops. But notice how that kind of brings everything up a level. It's very, very akin to an exposure. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to boost those bright spots, but also dim down and darken the black spots. Another thing I can do is increase the highlights, and that's going to really focus just on those bright spots. But remember, we also have to dial down the blacks as well. So notice how the combination of all those, maybe with a little bit of contrast, now we're getting this really dark, moody scene where those bright spots are nice and bright, properly exposed, but then the rest of the scene is very, very dark and moody. Now, the final thing I'm going to do here is actually get rid of this building here in the bottom. You don't see it very much. It's just enough, and I also want to darken the bottom of the frame to get your eyes as the viewer to follow it up into the parts I'm trying to showcase, which is the peaks right here. So let's just hit G for a gradient filter. I'm just going to draw a little gradient here. Remember, anything red is going to get the treatment. I'm just going to do a real broad, rough underexposure. And notice how when I hit enter and go back to editing panel, those buildings disappeared. So that's fantastic. This is going to be my ending result. And notice how, for me at least, it's exactly what I want out of it. Bright spots that are nice and bright and properly exposed. A lot of darkness, a lot of moodiness. There is the photo. Click done, and we're all set.